Hey everyone, and I'm going to show you a mixed media background, pretty simple, and then some layering to build this layout. So as you can see, I've just got a piece of plastic and I just sprayed directly that Craft mist that we got, making sure that I shook it to begin with because it's got that iridescent spray inside it, so I wanted to make sure that I kept that shimmer and that colour. So just using this pinky red, I can't remember what colour it is, but the link down below is for the shop, so if you want to check it out. We got it in our December kits, along with this bluey green colour as well. So I've got a Christmas tree photo that I'm actually scrapbooking. I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could scrapbook a Christmas photo, even though this is not this year's photo. It is still Christmas. So I'm using this to just add some splatters, and these mists are like, the consistency is really nice to be able to add these bigger drops. It's really nice. It like stays on there and you can position the nozzle where you want to add that little drop or that bigger drop. So it's really nice. That way you don't have to get out your eyedropper and fiddle with a different tool. So I'm just using a wipe because I didn't have any paper towel in my craft room, and I'm just picking up a bit of the colour so that it dried in an icy green kind of a tone. So I'm just pulling out all the things I thought I would like to use for layering, and then I found these words and figured I'd pull out one that I wanted to use, and it stays as happy because of the black. I just think I'll add in a bit of the black colour so that it grounds the photo and grounds the layout rather than just being the red and the green or the pink and the green. So you can see I'm just using the Project Live cards, just pulling them aside to see what I have available before I play with the layering. And I pulled out that gold wreath sticker that we've got, just having a look underneath the really useful box tray to see what kind of bigger things I've got that I'd like to pull out. And then there's this cutout that's got this nice green, like a light green, but grid on the back. So I was trying to work out which four I didn't want to or I'd less likely to use, and I cut those four out so that the others are still intact on that cut apart sheet, and then I can use this bigger piece of green as a background base piece. But then in the end, spoiler alert, I don't use the whole piece anyway. It just didn't work with all that mixed media in the background. If it was no mixed media, it's just a plain background, it probably would work having such a boxy layering. So you can see here, even with a couple of layers so far, that green grid is just too big, and it's like its own little mini layout, really. So having a play, just putting the colours and the cards where I want. I've got this little glassine bag that the ephemera came in, and if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I always keep them and use them. So just thinking, yep, okay, that's about what I think might be working. I've got a general idea, and that wreath can go there, and it could go on my page. And then I realised that my mixed media just wasn't going to work in that position, so then I turn it around, and luckily it works in this position. So I'm going to just pull out some tape after I realise that this little card from the exclusive ephemera pack fits in perfectly, and I'm just going to tape it down. Now I kept it in, and hopefully it's not too fiddly with all the double-sided tape, but I wanted to show you how I layered. So I'm just going to put this one here, and then I end up cutting the middle out so that I can use that colour again, even though I've got it in the 12 by 12 from the main kit. But still, it's always nice to not just waste paper behind layers, I think. And also, happy little accidents happen. Like I cut the wrong way here, so then that has to go up further, which means then I'm top heavy at the moment, which means I need to counteract that and see what I can put down the bottom. So I'm trying to work out if this glassine bag will be that, and not intact, it won't be, but instead I cut it into 2 strips, and I use it like crepe paper, and I ruffle it on the edge down the bottom. So just using some double-sided tape, and I'm just putting some little pleats in it, I guess, if you're a sewer, or just putting some folds in it, really. And I'm just going to put the two together, and the way it lays in the middle makes it look like it's just one piece. And there we go. So it's like it has a little skirt on it. So I want to put this double-sided tape on to hold it, but then forgot and just took off that backing piece. But that's okay. It's still going to hold it, but it is going to be used, obviously, for both sides now that I took that piece off. So now, because everything's changed, you can see from the start where I sort of laid things out. And that's just, sometimes I do that to have a general idea, especially if it's one of the first layouts of the month with a kit, because you have so much stuff. When I find when you're working on layering just with your scraps, then you just pull out and you just stick and plonk and put it any way you need it right in that moment. Whereas when there's more in your kit, it's nice to pull out a few things and then work on some layering. So here's where I work out if I'm going to add this green base, and you can see here without the mixed media in the background, so holding it like this, it's like its own little layout. So it needs only a plain background, or even just a nice pattern paper background rather than the mixed media. So instead I put down this exclusive card, and then I work on a few other things, and I do end up using some of that grid paper, but not the whole thing. So going to add in this gold wreath, and still, like I said, you can see the thought process going on as to what I think needs to happen with these layering pieces. So the sticker book has these nice semicircles and full circles. So I pull out the green and the purple ones. Oh, green and purple. Green and pink and red ones. That kind of a colour combination. And I just start to put in some of these. So there's these two half circles here, and then that becomes the theme onto the paper. It's my son's phone. And he only really has, somehow he's managed to get a phone number which is like a recycled number, which I know most are, or all are, but this number is connected to a lot of scammer callers and stuff. Well, not so much scam. I don't know what they are. They never leave a voicemail. When you answer them, there's no one there, or I don't know. Anyway, you didn't come to watch this video to find out about that. So I've added on that wreath, and I'm adding on this little doily. And I did want it in there, but then I couldn't get it back in once I put double-sided tape. So instead, I'm going to go with it there. And I'm going to add in this little green label. And it's going to go sit over there. So you can see, even though I'm not working on the paper because I'm waiting for that mixed media to dry, I have two clusters going already. One on that top right hand corner, and then one on the bottom left hand corner of the photo. And that all ties in with my layers, but also with starting the embellishment process, especially because the mixed media in the background is going that way. It is a good way to draw your eye around across and down the page. So I'm just going to add some more stickers now. This one's a tab actually, not a tag. So I'm going to stick it there to draw in that cluster and to build layers on this little cluster starting here. And that's just really cool. I just don't know how Steph works out how everything works so well together. Like, this is like a totally different brand. This is Kaisercraft, and the rest of the collection is the Whimsical collection in this kit. And these colour tones go so well together in this sticker book, and it just is amazing. It blows my mind every month when I get the kits, and there's all these extra goodies from, you know, you can, usually the kit is full of a collection that is a base collection, I reckon I would explain it as. And then we have all these exclusives and these extra other companies' goodies and things like that. And they just work so well together. Like, you don't even have to think about it. You just grab something and you go and create. So I've just got that sticker there that's got that love heart. I added it to the glassine bag just because I couldn't reach, 10 centimeters further to get the white cardstock that was sitting behind it, and cut it so that I could back it up on some double-sided foam tape, and that way it's off the page rather than everything other than that puffy gold wreath. Everything was flat to the paper. So I'm going to add some of these little circles, and I'm going to start a little cluster rain kind of a theory, or look, it's like raining down the page. So I'm trying to make it look random, and random but placed the right way. I'm just going to glue this one down and then add some more of those little circles down the bottom. I did try to make this gold wreath that I'd cut off work, but it was just like I'd tried too hard. It was like, okay, you don't have to add exactly on one side the same exactly on the other side. Like, it just doesn't have to be like that all the time, or any of the time. Sometimes it is really nice, and other times it's just not the right thing. So stapling down the happy title and adding a staple up there because that's symmetry, and that is just contradicts what I just literally said about the gold wreath. So like, you just got to play it by ear and go with the flow, and just think about how things will look and how you want them to look, and just try it. Don't think too rigidly and say, well, it has to be this rule, and this is a rule that has to be followed, and X, Y, Z equals A, B, C, and it just, it's art. It's a type of art, and it should just be free-flowing. So there's some of these little circles. I think they're actually like buttons on this chipboard sheet, so I'm adding them in the two circle clusters. Added in this little chipboard heart to find a couple of spots for it before I rest on it down there. And then some of these little stars as well in the green and the pink. Just the small ones, not the other sizes. And that's just enough to add in. So you can see that even though it's the pink and the green tone, like color that I'm going for, it's actually lots of tones of those colors, not just the one tone and of both colors throughout the whole page. So sorry it's cut off the bottom there a bit. It was late at night and I wasn't thinking about it. I was just trying to work out what else it needed. I wasn't, like one of these scrapbook layouts where it just seems like there's so much going on because the photo is so busy with all those presents under the tree, and they're similar colours, but it's just, I don't know, it's just busy. So I was finding myself just trying to scrapbook and trying to add one more thing, trying to add another more thing, just to see if that's what made me feel like this layout was done and it was nice. And even once I was done, I took my photos and then went to bed thinking, oh, I don't think this is my design team layout. This is not, what I want to put up there. But then I slept on it, woke up in the morning and had a look, and I was like, yeah, this is growing on me. This is all right. And then I thought, hey, this may not be 100% my normal style. It's, maybe mostly my style, but I think it's good to have a bit of variety. One, because I would hate anything that is mundane and repetitive, especially in art. But this is one of those layouts where it's not the, top 5, but it's certainly up there because of a few different things in terms of the way I like it. So instead I went, yep, okay, I shall edit the footage and grow to love it. So hopefully you are watching it and getting some ideas or some tips, or even are thinking, yep, I like this layout. And hopefully, because, what is there? Only a few more sleeps now until Christmas. Hopefully you're feeling a bit accomplished in the shopping department for Christmas and the stress less mantra. That's everyone's dream, isn't it? So, sorry, I'm shaking my desk, which is obviously shaking my camera Must be shaking the desk that my camera, the cupboard next to me that's got my camera. Pulled out my Sharpie and just doing doubled line doodly border. And then I do add some doodles and lines around a few of the layers, so the pieces. So around, dotted one around this heart. And that's just to make them stand out as their own individual. I think there's so much going on that it just blends in as such, even though it doesn't blend in because it's chaotic. But I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense and I'm not just some crazy woman. Actually, I know I'm a crazy woman and I love it. Anyway, there's some journaling. I added in that white trap space in that wreath. And I'm just gonna... Oh yes, so just doing another doodly border. And this is pretty much the end of the layout. We're going to come to some close-ups. And that's it. Like, you can see there's some lovely exclusive pieces with the word and the Project Life kind of style card. And I do add some of this gold shimmer spray that we got in the kit as well, in the mixed media kit. And this goes on so much nicer, I feel, than the Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I feel that either I got a really bad bottle, and I've only ever had one bottle because I used it, but then I wasn't the biggest fan. But this goes on so nicely. It shakes so you don't have to shake it for very long, and it stays that beautiful colour for its whole entire drying time, and then once it's dried. Anyway, I will catch you in the next video, and I'll catch you out on the Facebook group. See ya. Bye.